2025 Mercedes-AMG Cli 53 First Drive, comfort food for the car fanatic soul. This is the Mercedes performance coupe you totally saw coming, and thank goodness for that. It's comforting to realize most of Mercedes-Benz's new vehicle launches are as predictable as a Disney movie. First, we'll see the luxury-oriented models, followed perhaps by a body variation or two. Then, with a roll of thunder and a tremor that shakes the earth, the AMG models storm the scene. Such is the case with Mercedes' new Cli Class 2-door, the plush coupes and drop tops are in, and now the AMG model is here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and it's all out of bubblegum. A quick recap of the Cli story: this is a new 2-door model from Mercedes that takes over for both the C and E-Class coupes and is sized somewhere between the two. We've been favorably impressed by both coupe and convertible versions. The former looks good and has plenty of stretch-out space, while the latter has some nifty convertible exclusive touches, like a center screen that tilts to reduce glare and seat upholstery designed to stay cool in the sun. In today's technological race to the bottom, it's nice to see such practical advances. What we wanted was a bit more muscle, and now we have it. More power and agility for a coupe we love. Let us turn to the newest and most exciting edition, the 2025 Mercedes-AMG Cli 53 Coupe. By now, you probably know how these AMG things work. They tend to run in 43, 53, and 63 series, with higher numbers denoting higher levels of potency. Not all models get all series, and for the Cli, Mercedes begins at the 53 level. Under the hood is a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6 engine as seen in the Cli 450, with an electric supercharger and mild hybrid system to fill in the low end and power delivered to all four wheels. But while the version fitted to the new Cli 450 delivers 375 HP and 369 lb-ft of torque, the Cli 53 AMG ratchets up to 443 HP and 413 lb-ft, with a 10-second, 30 lb-foot overboost function. Per Mercedes, the extra power should shave 0.2 second from the 0-60 mph time, getting it down to an even 4.0. Top speed, as with most of these Autobahn bruisers, is electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. Other dynamic changes include an adjustable suspension and rear-wheel steering, items available on lesser Clis in other markets but until now denied to us in North America. Bulging fenders, a complex rear diffuser, and deep dish wheels are among the visual changes that make the AMG version of the Cli look more aggressive. Inside, you'll find functional updates like deeply bolstered seats and an AMG-specific steering wheel. The latter features dials with tiny, embedded video screens to select a drive mode and customize its suspension stiffness, exhaust volume, and so on. Given the complexity of in-car interfaces these days, it's nice to have these options right at our fingertips. Is it even running? Our initial driving impression was muted. Literally. We pressed the start button, and, thanks largely to the super smooth integrated starter generator, ISG, that's the mild hybrid device, we couldn't even tell the engine had fired. A fiddle with the steering wheel dial that cranks up the exhaust sound solved that little first world problem, and off we went into the twisty hills of Tenerife, a Spanish island off the coast of Africa that serves as Europe's stand-in for Hawaii. We found what we expected, we mean from the car, not Tenerife. The latter's lava-strewn mountainous landscape was quite a surprise. The 2025 Mercedes-AMG Cli 53's engine power is prodigious, strong off the line and pulling hard into the mid-range, though acceleration trails off as the tachometer approaches its red line. The noises coming from the exhaust are spectacular, deep, and rich in bass, more like a V8 rumble than the thin flatulence you might expect from a straight 6. And, of course, you can restore the exhaust to hush-hush levels should you wish to temporarily act like a grown-up. The classic Grand Tourer, fast and hard, but not too hard. The AMG version of the Cli comes with all the technical goodies we talked about in our Cli Coupe First Drive, and this time round we could barely be bothered with any of them. Tenerife is ribboned with lovely curvy roads, and we were here to drive. Right away, the mercedes-amg proved a willing partner. When pushed, it has a classic Grand Tourer feel, big and heavy on the road, though not so big that it feels unwieldy, with a ride that, even in its stiffest setting, is firm but never uncivil. We drove at James Bond on his way to what he knows is a trap speeds, as opposed to James Bond going to rescue the love interest who is going to die if he doesn't get there in time, but who the hell are they fooling, we know she's going to die anyway speeds, and the overarching feel was that of poise that refused to be broken. The rear end remained planted solidly, even when we got clumsy with our inputs, and our progress through the curves was punctuated only by the occasional chirp from the front tires. The brakes felt good but showed strain when overworked. Driving as fast as a reasonably skilled driver might dare, on unfamiliar roads in a foreign country which, as it happens, is exactly who and where we were, the Clio 53 found its happy place. Still, there was something about the experience that felt a bit curated. The steering feels artificially heavy, and feedback is minimal, as it is in other Clios we've driven. While the suspension closely followed the pavement's vertical contours, what few big bumps we hit were not so much cushioned as bludgeoned and ejected from the car's wake before they could pester us. The 9-speed automatic transmission is a torque converter planetary unit, delivering slower but more cushioned shifts than a wet clutch or twin clutch design. Performance and comfort run neck and neck in the Clio 53, but in the event of a conflict, as with the lesser Clio models, comfort wins every time. Are we really here right now? As we raced through the hills, there was the slightest feeling of isolation, as if an extraordinarily thin layer of latex was placed between us and the driving experience, lest the word raw edge its way into our impressions. No gauze over the lens, mind you, but sufficient bokeh to make the experience feel just a bit dreamier than it was. And that's okay. There's room in this world for high-performance coupes with a healthy dose of civility, and that's the role the 2025 Mercedes-AMG Clio 53 plays, the open road cruiser that you can pack for a trip and have good fun with in the curves until your spouse shoots you a martial marital glare. There's plenty here, but also plenty of room for something more, perhaps something with a 63 in the name. You saw that coming, too, right? Right?
Thank you.